The Montreal Canadiens finish off the Vegas Golden Knights 4-2 last night by winning 3-2 in overtime. What a game and what a series this was. Alright, so the Vegas Golden Knights start Robin Lehner once again. Obviously, Carey Price is in net for Montreal. I don't think there was any doubt about that. With Lehner, though, I was a bit surprised that he did not start in Game 5. I was surprised that they went back to Fleury after Lehner had a very strong performance in a winning cause in Game 4. But they go back with him here in Game 6. Alright, so we go to the first period, and you know Vegas is going to come on with a push if you're Montreal, and you got to withstand that. I thought Montreal had some good chances of their own as well. And it would be Shea Weber breaking the ice with his first of the playoffs finally. I was waiting for him to release that big shot. He does it in classic Shea Weber fashion here, as he would score to get the Habs up 1-0. That one was unassisted, as Alec Martinez would catch an unfortunate break as he would break his stick, no pun intended there. And the puck would squirt right out to Shea Weber. He would blast it home. It's 1-0 Montreal. But then 48 seconds later, the Vegas Golden Knights would respond as Shea Theodore would connect with Riley Smith on the back door. And Smith, he taps it home. Vegas finally gets a goal from a forward. They did last game with Pacioretty, but they really need to get their forwards going in this series. And for Smith, that's a great goal from him. Really nice goal by Vegas there. It's 1-1 at this point. Then in the second period, with the game tied up at 1, Carey Price would come across and make another unbelievable save on William Karlsson. I don't know how many times this series Price has come across and absolutely robbed a guy from Vegas. It's unbelievable. He's been Montreal's MVP. If the Habs are to go on and win the Stanley Cup, this guy has to get the Conn Smythe, and he's by far been the Habs' most valuable player without a doubt in my mind. And then shortly after that, Cole Caulfield would score his 4th of the playoffs and his 4th of this series. The assists on that one go to Joel Edmondson and Jeff Petrie. Caulfield with a great play. He was actually a couple strides behind McNabb when that play started. He chips it by him. He skates onto it. He knows Braden McNabb does not have the foot speed to catch him. And boy, he blew right around McNabb. He left him in the dust. He left them in the shards of ice, I guess you would have to say in this case, since there is no dust out there. But with that being said, he goes top shelf on Robin Lehner. Little anecdote behind that one, Caulfield, he's kind of going like that after the goal. I think that was a bit of a slur to Lehner maybe, even though he didn't direct it right towards him. But last game, or a couple games ago in Game 4, Lehner was like, oh, I did my homework on him, more or less. I'm paraphrasing here, of course. He said, I did my homework on him. I know he's either going to go 5-hole or top shelf, so I baited him to go 5-hole. I stopped him. And this time Caulfield went top shelf, and there was really nothing Robin Lehner could do about it. It's 2-1 Montreal. And the Habs would carry that 2-1 lead into the third period, but it wouldn't last long in that third period, as just 1 minute and 8 seconds in, Alec Martinez, again, coming in. Vegas does this a lot where they have defensemen in places you wouldn't even imagine a defenseman to be, like right in front of the net, because that's where Alec Martinez would get his goal. Right in front of the net, he bangs it home off a rebound that Carey Price couldn't control. One of the few rebounds that Carey Price couldn't control, too, I want to add. He bangs it home. That one assisted by Pietrangelo and William Karlsson. So again, Vegas doing what they've done all series, getting goals from defensemen. With 4:13 to go, Robin Lehner makes a huge save on Cole Caulfield. Caulfield wasn't really truly in all alone there. Shea Theodore was a defenseman who kept up with him. He made a pretty strong defensive play, made it hard for Caulfield to get a really good chance off, but still it was a pretty good save by Robin Lehner. The game would end at 2-2, and we're going to another overtime in this series. So we go to overtime, and Vegas was really pushing for the first minute of that period. And Max Pacioretty gets absolutely robbed by Carey Price shortly into the overtime. Then Price makes a huge save on the point shot. I forget who the defenseman was who let it go. I apologize for that. But Price makes a big save. The rebound pops all the way out to the high forward, Brendan Gallagher, who gets it. He skates onto it, passes it to Phil Deneau. Deneau with a great move coming in over the blue line. He sends it over to Lehkonen, who buries it. Arturi Lehkonen buries a goal finally at the right time. And that was assisted by Deneau and Gallagher. The Montreal Canadiens win this series 4-2 in another overtime thriller. I said after that game, I was like, man, these guys, Montreal meaning these guys, they don't make things easy on themselves, that's for sure. They always do it the hard way, but you know what? Sometimes when it's done the hard way, it feels a little bit better. There's a lot of talk about how poor the officiating was in this series, and there was a play in overtime where Montreal appeared to have iced the puck. It hit Robin Lehner. They called it icing nonetheless. That was a terrible call. There was also a play where Chandler Stevenson ran a pick on, I forget who the Montreal forward was, who was trying to get back and catch the Golden Knights puck carrier. Late in that third period, that opened up a wide open chance for Vegas. And that was something I think the Montreal bench and their fans were really upset about. There was a headshot from Alex Tuck on Josh Anderson too. I mean, it almost felt like, you know, the referees were trying to subtly get Vegas a win in this one. But nonetheless, Montreal, they power through that. They get rid of all the distractions and they just win a big game, and they just keep doing it the Montreal way, just not worrying about all the odds and what's against you and what's not against you. They just hung in there all the way and they get the win. For Vegas, well, better luck next year, I guess. But with that being said, I mean, I've seen a lot of Golden Knights fans being hard on their team, and I think it's kind of stupid of them to do that because all their team has done is win so far in their existence. I'm a little worried about the Golden Knights fan base, what will happen to them if Vegas has to go through like a 4 or 5 year stretch like Ottawa or Detroit has gone through the last few years. I'm sure there'll still be some passionate ones there, but if they're already ripping hard on their team after making at least a third round minimum or beyond for the first 4 years of their existence, well, I don't know, they could be really in for a rude awakening if their team ever has to go through a rebuild. And tonight we'll be finding out who the Habs' next opponent will be, as Tampa Bay and New York will play their Game 7. And if you're a Habs fan, I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below about which team you think Montreal will fare better against. Who do you want them to get? For me, I'm not really big on picking opponents and stuff like that, so I don't know. If I'm a Habs fan, I would just kind of let the cards fall where they may, and whoever wins that series wins that series. And with Montreal, yeah, they're going to be in tough again, but you know what? Don't be surprised if the Habs pull off another upset, because that's what they've been doing all playoffs long. They're feeding off people doubting them. And, you know, I'm a Sens fan, and I'm supposed to hate these guys. But to be honest, I'm kind of liking them. And I know a lot of Ottawa fans are going to resent me for that, but hey, it could be worse. At least I'm not cheering for Toronto, right? So let me know all that and more in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.